All right. So tonight the plan is to cover Reblum. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. Which, if you haven't used it, I have showed it on the stream before. I did the trial version like a year and a half ago. Somebody pointed it out to me. I'm like, okay, let me try this out. I did the trial and then I bought it when the trial ended. And what was cool is they actually reached out to me about a month ago and said, hey, we'd love you to test out our software. I'm like, I already own it. But yeah, we can do a collaboration. So yeah, we figured out something, and I'm going to do a full demo of it on here tonight. And so here's my guess of what the initial questions would be about Reblum. And I would say that or I would guess that people would ask, okay, what about, does it replace Photoshop, or does it replace, what does it replace? Okay, I'm going to give you a very specific use case of what I think this is great for and why I am a fan of it, why I purchased it. So first of all, it's just a very simple batch skin retouching editor. Simply put, it is not, you don't go into like a bunch of fine-tuned controls. You just drop one image or 100 images and essentially have like 3 sliders to play with and hit go. So with that said, here's how I like to use it. I still use Capture One to do my coloring. And I know there's a lot of AI retouching options out there. I use Evoto. I've tried Retouch for Me, all those other ones. The problem that I run into with those is that since they're credit based, here's like the big problem, or like thing that's kind of missing. The first step after I color correct my photo, so whether you're using Lightroom, Capture One, or Evoto or whatever, you color correct. And then you don't go into like full retouching mode when you send the proofs. You're not going to, like me on a shoot that ends up with 1,000 images, 1,500 images, I'm going to send 10% of those as proofs. So there's a couple hundred images that are going to go out the door as proofs. And what has always been, the best I could do, because I want to show the client, like, I don't want to send them raw photos. I don't want them to be like, oh my God, like, what are these colorless, flat, like awful looking. I don't expect them to see through the fog of the unedited versions of the photos. Like when a photographer sees the raw photo, we can also see the potential of the final product. I don't expect that out of a client. You shouldn't expect that out of a client. So what I do is I've always been big on like making sure that they're like 90% color corrected. Now, I can do that pretty quickly. Like in Capture One, I import my photos with my preset that gets me close. Like, okay, so that moves me like 70% of the way. And auto adjust. So like, all right, if it was just my preset, maybe I'd get 50%. Auto adjust gets me another 20%. I'm like 70. Like the goal is like, how close can I get to 100 without really making much effort? So then what I do is, all right, they're like say 60% toward final, just on preset auto adjust. Okay, I'll be conservative with that number. It would be nice that the closer I can get to 100 when I show them the photos, the better. A couple things. They're going to just be overall more wowed when they see them. That's what I want. And also, I offer every client has the ability to purchase directly out of the gallery, because I use Pixie Set. So you can set a price tag on your raw photos. So like for mine, I think it's $25 I charge for, like, if you want to just, I like that as it is in the gallery, or $500 to buy the whole gallery. Now, like, I'll still give them their 10 edits, okay? Where I fully go in and polish it up. But okay, we got just from the import process. Preset, auto adjust, I'm like 60%. They look pretty good. But that didn't touch the skin. That's always like the next, that's like what keeps it from getting closer. That's the next big missing chunk. The problem with the current AI softwares is that you have to use your credits that you pay for. And are you going to use them on the proofs? If I have to send out 200 proofs, but I only really am going to edit the 10 that they get. Like I've actually done this before. I'm like, you know what? Maybe she'll buy some out of there if I burn through 200 credits, and then it's been like womp womp, no purchases. Like shit. Now I lost a big chunk of my credits because I went for it. All right, here's where Reblum comes in. You can buy the software outright. No credits, no subscription. There is a subscription plan. I think it's worth it just to buy the software once. A little pro tip is that they offer nice discounts. So right now we're about to get into the Thanksgiving sale, and I believe it's going to be 50% off. So that's in 2 days. So definitely hold off if you haven't got it yet. And if you're watching this later and you missed that, then you use Joey20, you'll get 20% off. I think when I bought it initially, I got it for like 20% off, and I was super happy with it. It was under 200 bucks. And now I own it forever. It's unlimited. It works locally. So Niall, you'll appreciate this. You don't have to get stuck in a rainstorm in Tulum and not be able to use it. But yeah, it doesn't rely on internet connection, cloud. So here's now what I do. Every shoot, I export out a Capture One. It's color corrected. And before I do that, I told you I do my preset auto adjust. I also do a quick, like, I don't just send the proofs just from that and like, trust that it came out great. I do my selections, I narrow it down. Okay, here's 200 photos. Now I go to the first photo of each set. I make a little tweak, sync it to the end of that set, move forward. And then after about 5 or, if I do 5 looks, maybe the lighting changed a little bit. I moved here. Okay, cool. 10 photos that I had to adjust, sync, adjust, sync. And then now my photos are like 80% there. I just export those out to my desktop. I drop the whole thing into Reblum, walk away for 10 minutes, come back. Now they go in my gallery. Now they have the skin cleaned up. Didn't cost me any credits. Now the photos are like 90% there. And honestly, unless I have to do like major reconstruction or plastics, digital plastic surgery on somebody, sometimes they're like 99% there. The only thing that didn't happen is maybe some background stuff didn't get removed or something. But if you have a model that's not looking to be, completely altered, then the skin cleanup can be the last step. Now the proofs are like awesome. When they pick out their photos, like you might pop it into Photoshop and just do a little remove tool, background stuff, a little liquefy, and like that is like the most you're gonna have to do at that point. So anyways, now that I've explained it, I want to show it. And let's do that next here. So let's pop open. All right, so Reblum is very simple interface. And here we go. I'm gonna just go into, I downloaded some stock photos from Adobe. And I don't need to use all of these, but what I didn't want to do is just throw it like models that have great skin already. So I did find some photos that were like pretty rough. So let's just do this. I'm just going to drop this in. Actually, you know what? Let's just drop the ones that I know have pretty bad acne situations. No, that was not it. Okay. What was this one? Oh, that was something else. All right. So here we go. I just dropped it in, and look, here's the before. I'm going to hit the backslash key, and boom. I didn't make any adjustments. by the way, this is kind of like worst case scenario. Close up, face shot, really bad acne, and it did a pretty damn good job. I mean, like, minus a couple, didn't get rid of all the, it's not blown out, doesn't look smooth. It missed a couple little spots. Here's another one, and before, after. So again, like, imagine just tossing all your proofs in there before it goes out the door. And I like that. Like, this is truly a nice, kind of one touch solution. Okay. And I tend to use natural. And they just added recently, it was just texture, general, like, you see that's the acne removal. In fact, let's go back here because, oh yeah, there it goes. If I turn that all the way up on him, that looks really good. And then this is like if I want to smooth out the texture. So I prefer to not go heavy on this. I don't like that super smooth look. And then tone, you can see this actually, the more I pull it up, it gets rid of the magenta hues, like the pink hues. I would be careful because you can see it might hit the lips a little bit too, but if you use that with a little finesse, you get a really nice result. So again, you just drop, you could test it on the first photo and then just drop the rest in, walk away, and then come back and they look great. So I am doing this to every shoot now, is going into Reblum before it goes into the proof gallery. And for proofs, by the way, I use Pixie Set. That's my preferred way of sharing with the models. Let's also try on him. I want to try the tone. Yeah, you can see this is good. It gets, so I'm going to go to 0 on that. And as I turn it up, you should be able to see that pink tone go away. I think I don't like to go all the way. I think it starts to look a little jaundice. and this is with, like, same thing in Capture One. I never pull these skin tones like all the way through. I like a little bit of a there's a little bit of blood running through the veins. So, but yeah, you can play with the texture, but not bad for just a really simple solution. And again, runs locally on your machine. You can buy it outright and it doesn't, it's not costing you credits to use. So, so would you ever go Reblum to Evoto PS? I would. So on the photos, when a client picks out, like, oh, these are the 10 photos that I want, yes, I would go through the full process and detailed stuff. But, like, for presenting, or if it's a shoot that's, like, you don't have to go magazine edit, I would go Reblum, Photoshop, done. So yeah, this would be, but honestly, like, I think the true value in this is for just throwing it, here's 500 photos. I mean, I've actually, so here's a good example of a shoot that I did, where the client was like an entertainment company that had dancers, and I don't mean like strippers. I mean like hip hop dancers and whatnot, and DJs, and they go out and do bar mitzvahs and all this stuff. They had me come in and shoot everybody, like their whole team of like 30 people. But the client only wanted one photo of each person. But I was like, I actually called and I said, hey, would you be cool if I offer, I put up a gallery, you guys pick take that photo that you need, but could I put up a gallery and just offer for, like, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks a photo that you could send to everybody, because maybe they want more out of that. They don't, and they didn't even get to choose the photo that you picked for the website. And they were like, yeah, that's cool. So they let me do that. And that was a perfect example where I just, like, tossed all the photos in Reblum and didn't cost me anything extra. And I got to put up the gallery, and, like, a handful of people snagged some photos out of there. So it was, like, again, for, like, no effort, no manual retouching. And had those people, seen a gallery where like they had acne and this and that, probably wouldn't have been as eager to purchase, you know, to spend $20. If it was free, they would have taken it and maybe figured out a way to do it. But it just, when you're putting a price tag on images, there's just a certain level that like if it doesn't surpass a certain level of retouching, like people will feel insulted to buy it. This is a good question. Does Reblum only work on facial retouching or the full body? So I'm sure some of you have seen, or I've gone over it on the stream, that Capture One recently added some very basic retouching that only works on the face. Reblum works on the full body, and we'll demo that here in a second. In fact, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open up Capture One. And okay, this was actually from a one-on-one session that I did with another photographer. So I got some behind the scenes, but basically I was helping, direct him and give him some pointers on how to shoot and whatnot. So these are some of my BTS photos that I took. It's Rachel, one of our workshop muses. She's been doing the workshop for like 3 years straight now. By the way, this is kind of funny. Notice his shirt, right? He's wearing this white shirt that's kind of like a bit of an eyesore. I mean, it's like taking all the attention. So I threw them into Photoshop. I selected him and then used the built-in generative fill and said change the shirt to olive, and then like on the last one change the shirt to black, and got really nice results. So but okay, going back to Rachel's photos, these are the raw photos. So let's just say these were my selections. I would do this next. I'm gonna go pixie set. I have a preset that I use for my proofs. Basically, the main point, 4,000 pixels on the long edge. So they're either gonna be these are all gonna be 4,000 pixels tall, and those will shoot out to my desktop. So you're gonna see these come in here. All right. So also let's cancel this and clear. And here come Rachel's images. So this is like an exact workflow of, okay, I went through the shoot. I picked my favorites that I'm going to send out to the model as proofs. I did a little color correction. And now I'm going to let these export to my desktop and then drop them into Reblum. And we'll see how those look. And again, this is now full body, okay? Let's see, K4MU asks, is it good for bruises, cellulite, scars? Olaf from Lima, Peru. Thank you for joining all the way from Lima. We will test. We'll do some testing to see how good it is on certain aspects. For sure. So unfortunately, Rachel here does not have much cellulite or scars that we can apply it to, but we'll find something on the internet and give it a test run. Are my input photos from Reblum full size TIFF, or do you use small JPEG? These are JPEGs. So I basically use the same JPEGs. I'm the same JPEGs that I would normally just throw right into Pixieset. I just first throw into this. It gives me a new version of them that goes into another folder or wherever I want to save it. And then those now move over. But I'm glad you asked, because I actually did find a folder here. So just to show you, these are TIFFs. These are like full-size TIFFs. And boom, that was really quick. And here's the before. Nice and clean. And you can see like it doesn't just do acne. You can see like it gets a little of like under the chin. He doesn't really have it, but if they have like dark circles. So I like it because I said this on my Zoom today to the photographer, because he said, hey, this one model asks me if I could send her the raws. He said, what does that kind of indicate? I go, always indicates that the model thinks that you went too far. It looks too filtered. You went too heavy on the retouching. And I said this to him. I go, you're way better off going too light than overcooking the photos. Like every time. Because, and here's why. Because every model now has access, or every person has access to very easy tools on their phone to do a retouch that they've already done and proven that they like a million times with their own photos and their own selfies. So they would rather you give them something that was underdone, that they can bring up to where they want it. Because if you overcook it, they can't pull it back. So I like that this one, it actually tends to go a little, I mean, I like that it's really finessed. Like it doesn't overcook, even when you pull it up to 100%. So that this is a full-size TIFF. I just wanted to show that, yes, it can handle TIFF, it can handle RAW. The only problem with RAW is that, well, RAW is not going to hold your, I would never actually put RAW in here, because what that means is I'm going to have this like uncolored photo, because you can't bake your color settings in from like Lightroom or Capture One into the RAW photo for another program to see, right? Because those are all proprietary to each of those programs. So you're going to end up doing skin cleanup on a flat looking RAW photo, and then you'll have to save it out as a TIFF or something else, and now you're downgrading the photo from RAW. So the really only sensible way to do this is color correct first, wherever you choose to do so, and then move it to this. Okay. So that is like the only order that makes sense. It really doesn't make sense to do it any other way. So let me cancel that. And all right, we have Rachel's photos. So let's just select all. So this is what I would do. I would just throw them all in here. I just put it on natural and I go save, and let's do desktop, and I'm going to do new folder, call it Reblum. Boom, open, boom. Okay, so you're seeing how fast it works. And honestly, it's pretty quick. Like now it's working on JPEG, so they're not like huge files. But they're a good size. And frankly, it's like writing the new file is the part that takes not longer, not whether it's reading from a TIFF or a JPEG. So I don't think it would really make much of a difference to run the TIFFs through it. We could test that and see, but so this is the part where like I go grab a coffee, I walk away, I come back in a few minutes, and my photos are good to go. Now these are coming into this folder. So let's get rid of the original one, and we can see them landing here, and they're going to be looking pretty good. Okay, so now the real way to do this is to just look at the before and after in Reblum, but I did want to show kind of a speed test of how quickly this processes the images. So let's see, what are we at, like, hold on, I'm going to just time the next image. So 54. $11, 12 seconds. So anyways, do the math. I throw in 150 photos and I just come back in 10, 15 minutes and everything's ready to toss into Pixieset. And again, the idea is like, I didn't really do any extra manual work, and I moved those photos much closer to the finish line. So when the client gets them, they're like, oh my God, I actually did 2 shoots like this. Here, let me see if I can pull up my messages without showing all my messages. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to... Okay. Oh, this is funny. So this model is seeing the photos. Hi, these pictures are so good. I have so much. She thought the gallery expired like this week. I was like, no, it expires in a year. It's like November of next year. Anyways, was super happy about them. So she was super happy. And then who was the other one? Okay. Woo, they look so amazing. Thank you so much. Sorting through them this weekend. So anyways, that's the feedback I want. No, like, oh, is there any more of this set? Or like, questioning. So the idea is like, I want them to see a like close to finished product. Okay, so it finished those, but now let's do this. I'm going to go back to the raw versions of them, or like the untouched versions, and I want to throw them in here. And now let's like go in and see what is it doing to the skin throughout the different parts of the body. So we'll take a little microscope to this. Well, it should be actually already done. There we go. Okay, so cool. Nice little cleanup. See, you could definitely see it's getting under the eyes. It's evening out the skin tone. Maybe I want it a little less. Boom. Now, actually, something I'm curious about, if I change it here. Okay, so here's a note. This is not for like going into each individual photo and, all right, this one, I want the tone to be like this. The idea of this is you figure out what is like generally the right fit for the whole set, and then just hit go and push them through. So that's the move. You're not sticking individual settings on each one. So let's kind of see here. Maybe this is why my channel is, oh, there we go. Boom. Actually, look at it's even getting like a bit of that line there. That must have come, I don't know if that was from leaning on something. But I like that it just catches these little uneven bruise areas. And then the tone is actually working on the entire body. And I don't even have it turned up all the way. Okay, this is all the way, and it doesn't look overcooked, which is like huge to me. And actually, I'll tell you something I didn't realize, that it does even work a little bit in the eyes. I actually really like the result on the face there. It is, and of course you can decide how far to go. But this is the best like one touch retouch that I have used, and the fact that it's not a credit-based system is very helpful. So for big sets of photos that you just need to get out the door, look good, this is fantastic. Let's take a little more under the microscope. Let me also see what I have in the comments here. Niles checking in from 30,000 feet. Okay. God, such a ninja. Sipping a cocktail and twitching with Joey Wright while moving 700 miles. All right. Let's see. Do you think there's any loss of quality working in JPEG specifically? Okay. Here's what I wouldn't do in JPEG. You don't like save a JPEG 10 times. It will slightly degrade every time, but it's not going to go like, all right, I made the JPEG from Capture One, and then I'm going to basically save it as a new one through this. Going to the Reblum folder, tell me if this looks like messed up and degraded, and we can like zoom in. And if there is any of the like pixelation you see, it's only because of the size that I save these as. These are not huge JPEGs. These are 4,000 pixels. That's not, I think the original file size is like twice that at least. So yeah, actually, if you want, let's do one other thing. Let's go back into Capture One. Let's take the full body photo. And I'm going to save this as print quality JPEG. So, okay, this is 100% pixel size, 240 DPI resolution. So this is basically the original size of the photo. but as a JPEG. Okay. So let's go ahead and open up this folder. This is from print. So this is a massive one. Okay. And now I should be able to zoom in. It's not the sharpest focus. This was like pretty late, high ISO. I should bring in a, well, anyways, there's before and after. I like that. It takes care of just enough. You know what I think the real test is? I mean, I think for any retouching is, before I showed you the before photo, like you're looking at the after, can you spot where it did its work? I can't do that with these. And I like where things have been applied. Let's see. Let's just look at a couple more under the microscope and see what we got here. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's a big one that it does the bikini line. And then of course I could tone that back a little bit. I could leave the original texture a little. Yeah. That's clean. All right, let's see if there's any other ones that are worth checking out here. Love that. Yeah. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have somebody who has nice skin, like you could, well, all right, let me say this. If you're lucky enough to work with somebody that doesn't need like liquefying and a bunch of other stuff and it's just skin blemish cleanup, you could be done at this point. And again, I think most importantly, it does not look overcooked. I like that it even gets the hands a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. By the way, I'm going to show you guys after I finish going through Reblum. If you want to stick around for a little bit, I came up with a nice solution for if you need to use like a generative fill, on a section of the photo. Like if I drew a marquee around the swimsuit and said, make the swimsuit black. The problem is sometimes it makes it and it shifts a little bit. It's scaled slightly different and it's not lined up. I came up with a nice way to address that. But yeah, these look great. I love this. I think one thing I'll reach out to them and say is like, hey, if we could do eye veins like as just standard, because I would never not want to clean that up. I think that would be a really good one to just like have it built in to that. Yeah, these look nice. Let me see. I have another set here of Val. Let's see if I can pull up some of Val's photos. And we'll do a few more. Let's see how it handles this because she's got like this spot on the body here. I think that would be a good one. I'm curious. Okay, yeah, she's got a little more going on the skin. So let's do this. I'm gonna throw these in here and we're gonna do my pixie set preset. Let's see, I want to get, okay, she's got like a little scrape here. Let's add this one. And what else? This one, this might be a good sample image. I don't know why it's taking so long. Let's just throw it in. Okay. All right, let's go back out here. I'm going to cancel and clear this list. And let's get rid of this and this. And okay, here comes, I'll be honest, Capture One is actually slower at exporting the photos than Reblum is at retouching and exporting. Okay, here we go. All right, and let's see how, there, okay, that's nice. Oh, I like it. It actually, I'll be honest, I didn't expect it to hit everything so nicely. And I'm not fully cranked up. So there, but I like to keep it a little more there. If you hit the fashion, you're just getting like almost a full blast. I like the natural setting and maybe a little more on that and a little less on the tone. Okay, so now let's see it on this. One thing I would like to see it do a little more is on the armpits. That's another one where like I would never turn down a little extra armpit cleanup. Okay, let's see on this one with the legs. Nice. Yeah, it does a nice job on that, on like the sort of slightly blotchy leg skin. It did. I also was curious, is it gonna ignore the tattoos? It did, which is good. I wouldn't want it to automatically get rid of tattoos. Okay, actually, it did a better job on this one, on the armpit. And let's go in the face, and you see it still works under the eyes. That's a good test here because, and this especially, like the marionette lines. Nice. Okay, and let's see. This one was the one she had a little scrape on her chest. And while that's loading, let me see if I can do a quick image search for cellulite. Okay, the problem with the cellulite images is that it's just a picture of a butt. And I don't, oh man, okay, here's the test image. Jesus. All right. We're gonna just try on the fly, but all right, so yep. Yeah, I worked on that. And again, like I said, I like that this will, if there's any miss, it's always under. I haven't seen it go over. So to me, that's really important. I'd rather something leave a little imperfection than it just overcooks it. All right, we're gonna try a couple cellulite photos here. I did not test these in advance, so we're gonna see how this works. Holy, there's a lot going on here. Now this is like a really low quality JPEG off the internet, so yeah, it still worked on it. Actually, here, let me crank this up. I'm just gonna hit fashion and see. Okay, yeah, it goes for it more there. This was another test. I wanted to see, will it hit everybody in a photo? Yes, it will. It just, I don't think knows what to do with this. And let me see if I can pull. Oh, I was actually, this is a WebP image. It's on a JPEG. So I was curious if it would process it, and it looks like it will. And while this is going, I don't think this is like really recognizing what the hell this is. So I had a feeling that was going to happen. All right. But I also have some random photos that I have used for a demo. So like here, this one I just pulled off the internet. Damn, that's pretty good. All right. Let's see. This poor guy. Oh, we got a couple. I mean, this sucker, he's just got to pop that thing. Jeesh. All right, let me see what else we got here. Okay, let's go back to some of my photos. Ooh, this is good. Okay, she's kind of got like the spider, like, you know, or that almost like clear leg skin. Let's throw this. This is a big tiff. Actually, before I do that, I do want to try something. Let's throw that tiff in on its own. And then I want to see how long it takes to send out the TIFF if I export it. The JPEGs that were a good size, those took about 11 seconds each. So we'll see what this one does. Okay, so boom, I have this turned all the way up. I'm gonna go back to natural. Yes. Now, this was actually for an e-com shoot. Man, I wish I had this back, you know, a few years ago when I shot this, because there was nothing I could do on hundreds of photos to fix that. Now I could do it with this and not use a single credit. Yeah, that's a really nice result. I think anyone who does some retouching knows how much of a pain in the ass that normally is to do manually. Would take 10 minutes at least if you're fast. All right, let's see for a, oh man, here's a rough one. I don't know what it's gonna do with this. I mean, it gave it a shot. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This was from like an e-com shoot I did. This is another TIFF. There we go. Again, just a nice light cleanup. Has a little skin tone correction in there. By the way, the skin tone is like brand new. So I think I have a sort of beta version that they sent me so I could demonstrate it. It might not be in the current version, and if it's not, it's going to be in it like tomorrow or something. I mean, it might already be, but I think when they sent it to me, they said it was going to be implemented into you know, the full version like really soon. And oh, here, what about me? My TIFF. Let's clean my ugly face up. Oh man, I was tired that day. Okay, oh, I think it already. I was like waiting for it. I was like, oh, that is. Yikes! Oh, nice. Yeah. Let's see how it does on my arms. I like it. Clean me up. Cool. Okay. Well, let me jump over here. Do you think? Hold on. I'm gonna check out the comments that I missed. Could you show what it is? Sorry, I'm a little slow on this comment. You sent it like 15 minutes ago about doing the armpit hairs. I think I did show that though. The one thing about a photo I don't like, I can spot where it tries to remove stray hairs. Yeah, they have not nailed the hair removal yet. Josh says, I'm liking what I'm seeing in Reblum though. Rachel looks amazing in these shots. Norman, what's up, buddy? We still need to catch up. Sorry, man. I'm my body's catching up. Just got home from work and hopped on. Did I see you export from Capture One and import into Reblum and then do a re-export back to that folder? I always right-click, edit in Reblum, and then save it back to the capture folder, which I post up. Zach, yes, so the way I usually do it is I send it to my desktop from Capture One because I'm ultimately moving over to proofs in Pixieset, and then I'm just going to delete those. So yeah, I go right into my desktop, then toss those into Reblum. But I suppose I could. That's actually a great. Damn, you just big brained me. Okay, so let's do something. I'm gonna duplicate this. Okay, so oops. So we have Pixie set copy. I'm gonna call this Reblum. We're gonna move it up here. So if I'm gonna go, I mean, honestly, I should just set here. Let's just do this. So that's a smart move. Okay, so it's gonna go to my desktop and open with. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? What the hell? Ah, there it is. Okay, Jesus. Boom, Reblum. Good call. Okay, this is the move from now on. All right, so I'm gonna say go ahead, export, and it should be sending it out here. Let's close all this up. This is gonna get very confusing for people. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Did that here? Okay. I'm gonna just delete all these. Let's delete. Let's get rid of all the stuff that I don't need. That's gonna confuse me. Okay, here we go. So let's try that one more time. Oops. So we are gonna say, let's just do this photo, and I'm gonna say it's gonna export to my desktop, open with Reblum. You know what? Since I'm going, yeah, I'm gonna go 9. Here. So in regard to like quality for JPEGs, you could go to 60 and not notice a difference. So 85 is like the human eye is not gonna see what's going on. So all right, let's do that. Let's do export. It should be coming out to this folder. I don't know why it's not opening with Reblum through that recipe. So I still think what ends up, I mean, I just Command A, select all, and just drag and drop them in. So I'll ask about that, why that doesn't automatically, you know, pick up and open in Reblum. But that's a good question. And by the way, they are very, like, I've already given them a couple suggestions and they shoot them right over to the team. Let me delete that one. Okay. So yeah, that would be nice if I can figure out how to get that working correctly. I'm just going to leave that for now, play with that later, but, and then, yeah. Yeah, it's clean. Okay, let me see. Norman says, Reblum looks so natural, like you said. Yes, absolutely. You should compare a Reblum result to an Evoto result where you get 2 minutes in Evoto. Well, the difference is with Evoto, like, you're going to fine tune everything So it's kind of apples and oranges. Did Val just get an arm tattoo? Did she? I don't know. Mic a bit echoey today, really. I don't know why. Oh man, I I didn't leave the Twitch. Check. No, okay. All right. How do you check for updates in Reblum? That's a good question. I I feel like it has just okay. Reblum is like very very like simple. I mean, there's like you can't mess anything up because there's not many buttons in Reblum. But I want to say that it has just notified me when there was an update, and then I just hit yes. So I think it checks automatically. What's the difference between buying Reblum outright and getting a subscription? It's the difference of buying a car outright and getting on a payment plan. If you can't afford the whole thing now, then you pay a little bit over time. I just think that I don't even remember what the subscription plan is equal to or the amount. In fact, why don't we just quickly hop on the website? And all right, let's look together. Pricing. So I just did the lifetime plan. Always up to date. Yeah, so it just automatically updates. Okay, how to access Reblum from Adobe, Photoshop, Lightroom Classic, and Capture One. Okay, in Capture One, you right-click, image, edit with Reblum. Okay. And what that will do, though, keep this in mind, it's still going to, it's going to open up the current version. So if you edit the raw, why don't we just try this real quick? Because I suspect what's going to happen, like say with this raw file, if I go edit with Reblum, yes, I have to convert. It's going to force me essentially to make a copy of it. Because if I don't, I'll lose all of the color settings from Capture One. So that makes sense. I'm actually glad it did that. Because if it just let me pull the raw file, like here, I guess this is what I don't want to happen. If I show this in Finder, and let me just get Reblum back on the screen here. Okay, so here it is. Here's that photo. I'm going to take the raw. Oops. Oh, man. Hold on. And I'm going to drop the raw file in there. It's going to be a muddy looking raw photo. So like there's no reason to ever come into this with a raw image. I just couldn't even see the point of that. You want to do color in Lightroom or Capture One first, or wherever you prefer to do it. Yeah, it'll still work on it. So see? And now you're going to have to save it out as TIFF, JPEG, PNG, or HEIC. So yeah. So it makes sense that Capture One asks you to convert it because it knows you're going to lose all your work in here. So 12 months. So basically, if you're going to use it for, hold on, let me use my big brain here for math. 12 times 12 is 144, right? So basically, if you're going to use it for the next almost 2 years, it makes sense to buy it outright. But remember, guys, I just told you Thanksgiving sale, 50% off coming up. I don't know if you can stack my coupon code Joey20 on that. You might as well try it. I don't think that would work. Can I let me sign out so you can see? That's why I'm not. There we go. Okay, pricing. Here we go. So look, Joey20 should turn that into a better deal. There you go. So, oh, and guys, here I would suggest this. First of all, if you're not already, get on my email list, because in 2 days I'm going to send an email with a reminder that it's now on sale for 50% off, and it will come from my link. So at least I'll also get credit for sending you their way. So if you would do me a solid, wait for me to send out that. And I'm also going to post it on Instagram and wherever else. But if you go to my joeywrightphoto.com/newsletter, I'm going to paste that in the chat here. You'll get my email blast in a couple days. That will just be about Reblum, like, hey, it's on sale, 50% off. And then that link in there will be my affiliate link. So I'll get credit for, sending you to them. That would be much appreciated. So 2 things: hold off until Thanksgiving, or I'm sorry, till the upcoming sale. And I think on November 20th is when it goes on sale. Whenever my email blast goes out, that will be the date. And ideally, you'll click the link from my email blast, and you'll get a better deal than, I think I got it during Black Friday, and it was 25% off. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. It was like $179. And again, if like you totally forget and don't commit to this, you can always use my code Joey20. You'll get 20% off. So yeah, I just think the lifetime is like the move. So, yeah. If you're not going to quit photography in the next year, year and a half, I would say that's the move. So, but anyways, and then you might as well try my code on top of whatever sale is going on. Can't hurt. So, any questions before I sign off on the Reblum stuff? I'm actually going to end the recording of the stream, but I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer on the live stream. But just for what's going to live on YouTube, I'm going to sign off here in a second. So throw me any questions you have. If there's anything else you want me to test or try on here, I'm happy to do it. And I'm curious, any other feedback on here from what we've demoed versus like what you guys are using currently, how this might, let me know if this fits into your workflow in a different way that I didn't mention. But again, for me, it's like every shoot before the proofs go out, go through Reblum, and I'm selling way more, individual grabs out of the galleries, the full galleries. And it makes, like, if you do any event photography, oh my God, this is like a no-brainer. Anything that is like kind of bulk style shoots, this is like a must-have. It's a very small investment, cost-wise. All right, let me see if I missed any of the... Okay, I didn't... I think I'm all caught up on the comments here. Bill, thanks for joining tonight. I should be back on next week. Thoughts on Capture One catching up to Reblum with their tools? 125 Reblum is a steal. You know, that's a good question. I mean, I don't even understand how Capture One made like a whole press release live stream, and then we have skin cleanup that only works on the face. That was just kind of bizarre to me. I have to drop all Joey. Will there be a session next week? There should be. I mean, the only thing that kept me the last 2 weeks was being sick, but yeah, I should be back on next week, man. So try to hop on if you can. Thank you for hanging out while you could. So yeah, John, I don't know the answer to that, but it just seems like they've been pretty slow on getting to this. I don't know what their deal is, man. They're slacking. I'm still drinking my. This is like the big jug I bring out to the gun range, like when we go out for a full day. So on Sunday, and I left it. I drove to my buddy's house and then rode with him, and I left it in my trunk and didn't have my hydration for the day. So I was like mooching off other people's waters and stuff, but I'm still drinking it from what I had just packed for that one day. Nietzsche says, I didn't know you were still using Reblum. Just got on. Yes, I am using it for every shoot before I put it into my proof gallery. Just again, I said this before, but I want my proofs to be as close to the finish line as possible, because it does a few things. You want, when they see your photos, like you wouldn't want to send photos that you didn't touch and the white balance was off and they look like Smurfs or they're like orange. Like you wouldn't want to send that to your client and they're like, oh my God. And they're like, oh no, don't worry. I don't, the less I have to say, oh, don't worry, I'm going to fix that, and like calm them down and try to bring them back, to being optimistic about their photos. I don't want to do that at all. In fact, I prefer they see it and they're like, oh my God, these look done. That's what I want them to say. And this like really pulls me so much, like right up to that edge, that even when they, now the only thing is when they pick out their additional photos, it's like, they're not that much different from what was in the gallery. Like maybe I do a little liquefy and some background removal. In fact, I have to tell them like, hey, when you get your final photos, like, those are the ones that I'll just clean up stuff in the background. That's kind of all I have left to say. That like, yeah. And Rich points out something I said a little earlier, that in 2 days, wait 2 days, it's going to be on sale for 50% off. So I bought it personally because somebody told me about it. I did the trial period. I was like, oh, damn, this is actually good. In fact, if you guys want, on my Twitch channel, go down and you'll see a Reblum logo. Click on that. That's like my link. Just download start your account, get the trial version running and play with it so you can feel confident. If you are going to grab it, the best time to grab it of the year, hands down, is going to be November 20th through the 30th. I think that's the date range. I can double check that. I'll double check it. I don't want somebody to wait till the 30th and it was like the 28th. But it's basically like the Thanksgiving sale. And I think the Cyber Monday is like 40% off. And I'm giving you like inside info. Okay. Black Friday, November 20th through 30th, 50%, up to 50% off. Up to. So it might change based on if it's a subscription or the outright. Cyber Monday is up to 40% off. And then you could try, I don't know the answer if, let me see if they, her, no, I asked, I was trying to get an answer, but they're like on the other side of the globe. So, they're sleeping right now, but I did send an email. Hey, does my code stack on top of like any current deals? I'm guessing it gives you whatever, like either or, but the best deal. So, but you could try Joey 20. I don't know if that is going to add an additional discount. That'd be pretty cool if it did. But to anyone that just joined, wait until the 20th. Use the link that's in my stream. It's also on my Instagram page. Use my link to sign up for a trial. I think there's a 7-day trial or something like that. And here I'll get the link now, and boom. Okay, copy link. Here we go. I'm gonna toss this in the chat here. If you ask, it won't stack. True. Oh man, it's got like this crazy. Hold on. Let me not use my Instagram link is like this crazy Instagram.com/blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, here it is. I'm putting this in the chat. Oh, this, you know what this does? My link just applies my code. I think that's all it actually does, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, use my link to sign up your account and do the trial. And then if you're sold on it, wait till 2 days, 20th. Get it for the best deal you'll get in the entire year. You'll get a better deal than I originally got when I paid for it myself. They are paying me back for doing this, for like giving them a full stream about it. So, but I did buy it without even ever talking to them. I was sold on it, and that was a year and a half ago. It's like only keeps getting better and more fine-tuned. Nitra says, mentioned it on the stream like 6 months ago. You didn't like as much your first impression. You didn't like it as your first. What's IIRC mean? Yeah. Oh, and this stream, by the way, I'm going to leave on my YouTube. It's not going to be like hidden behind the Patreon. So if you missed everything I talked about earlier, you can rewatch it. It'll be on there tomorrow. So anyways, I think I'm going to, on that note, close the stream up. Nitra, I think what you're referring to is like so now what's nice is we have different solutions. Like Evoto is great for when you want to go in full blast on a photo, right? And it can do tattoo removal and shaping and all that stuff, but it uses credits. The problem that I think everybody runs into is you don't want to use 200, 300 credits to send out your proofs. So you kind of have to make this decision. Do I send them the really rough looking proofs, or do I blow a few hundred credits just to give them a good first impression? That's where this has come in like really handy for me, is every shoot runs through this before it goes up on the proof gallery. So, and we just did a bunch of examples tonight. It just keeps getting better. They remember, this is all AI stuff. It's just getting trained better and better each month. So yeah. Anyways, all right, I'm going to close out this stream. So to the people that are watching this later on YouTube, thank you for checking it out. And then for those who are live right now with me. I'm going to show you a couple of little things I came up with in Photoshop over the last couple weeks.